alveolar model is very important. Obviously, the topic is a ceramic fragment contact lens veneer, but before go further, I wish to add something more about myself. I'm born in Italy, in a small city called Udine, not far from Venice. But Venice actually have a great impact in my life. I live in Venice for 1 year, and from that day I decided to spend and possibly live the rest of my life in an island. So in 2006 to 2007, I have the opportunity to work in Nomea, New Caledonia. The funny thing is that I was the only Italian in the island when Italy was playing the final of the Soccer World Cup with France, and we won. And so I survived, but let's say that I have to move to another country. So I moved to Wellington, New Zealand, where I established after a few years my own laboratory. I don't consider Icon Moro actually a laboratory, it's more like a playground for me. So, touch the word lightly. Why? Well, because it's precious. And so if the word is precious, how precious is a human tooth? So it's not precious because I consider it precious or because anybody else consider a tooth precious. But if we ask to a tooth why it is precious, he will probably answer then, I am a unique masterpiece of the nature, doesn't exist any other tooth equal as me. So respect myself, and if you have to touch me, cut me, do very carefully, because when you cut, it's cut forever. And so if the topic is a ceramic fragment and contact lens veneer, the context is minimal invasive and ultra conservative dentistry. The challenge is to provide a vanishing restoration, the high aesthetic restoration, with the minimal intervention of the natural teeth. I want that you focus also on ×2 of minimum, then I will explain better later. This is a case that I come across a year ago. Looked like a quite easy case. We have a temporary crown on the chew one, the temporary replacing all the PFM crown. And when we asked the patient what about the gap in the diastema, she said, well, I don't mind to close the diastema, I just want to reduce the diastema. And so the easy solution then the dentist suggests is build up a direct composite on the mesial surface of the 1-1 and have a ceramic crown on the chew one. But when we listen Albert Einstein, he said that then there is always an easy solution for a complex problem, and is always wrong. So if we consider this case an easy solution, the easy solution will be ceramic on the chew one and composite on the 1-1. What's the problem? The problem is then on the chew centrals, we have 3 materials: natural tooth, ceramic, and composite. This is actually a patchwork because we have three materials that react to light in a different way, three materials that react to stain and liquid absorption in a different way. So the times 2 minimal means that we have to minimalize the number of the materials. And so we suggest, rather than use a composite, to provide, to build a non-prep ceramic fragment. And so this is what we did. Obviously, the final aesthetic result is in the end of the dentist, and this is actually what I like most about ceramic fragments, because the dentist has to be able to polish together the ceramic fragment and the natural tooth together. And this is part of the second side of the lecture, actually. Why wax up? Wax up is, for me, extremely important because it's the project of each case, and is also very important for the dentist that work with us, because if 0.2, 0.4 thickness of ceramic make the difference between a non-prep ceramic fragment and a non-prep contact lens veneer, this is something that we must know in advance. Why? Because through the wax up, we can guide the dentist in where and if is necessary to provide a finishing line. And so if I go back, and we need to close the diastema, ceramic fragment is sufficient. But if we need to change a little bit the shape of the lateral, actually the finishing line started to move more on the distal and to cover eventually and reinforce the distal point of contact with the non-prep or minimal prep veneer. So ceramic wax up is extremely important. Obviously, from the wax up, we can mock up often and give a very good idea to the patient where we want to go. Let me say then, we developed this system with our mistakes through experience. I don't want to tell you only why I do those steps, but I also want to tell you and share with you why I don't do other steps. So obviously one of the main questions today is digital or analog for this kind of restoration. I will not give you an answer because my opinion doesn't really matter, but I want to show you an experiment that we did, because obviously was a decision that we have to make ourselves. So we take a natural tooth and we decided to, and extracted the natural tooth, and we decided to build up a non-prep ceramic fragment. So we take a digital impression, but also we take a conventional impression. So digital and analog. We use 3 shape for the digital, we use infragamma for the conventional, in order to obtain 2 die, one obviously in resin, 3D printed from the digital, and one in die stone from the conventional. The next step was duplicate them with silicone in order to obtain the matrix, where actually put our refractory material. So we obtain the 2 refractory dies, and we build in both of them 2 different ceramic fragments. And in the end, we go back to the natural tooth in order to check the fit. And this is the fit of the ceramic fragment on the analog, from the analog impression. And this is the second ceramic fragment and the fit, obviously from the digital impression. The success of ceramic fragments, and obviously lens contact veneer, is the fit, is the precision. And so I leave you to judge which way today, 2020, is worthy. Another question then come across obviously is monolithic or layered. Why don't do monolithic or why layered? When we observe natural teeth are never monolithic. I want to give you this example. Let's presuppose then we need a non-prep ceramic fragment on the mesial surface of the chew one in order to close the gap, close the diastema. So this is the simulation of our ceramic fragment. And if I need to layer this ceramic fragment, I will use pretty much this kind of mix between ceramic powders. It's difficult for a dentist to copy this kind of transition with a direct composite, and still is not monolithic. When we put upside down the ceramic fragment, we can see by contrast much better the difference and the transition between the cervical and the incisor. So obviously with the monolithic, it's impossible to achieve this transition because the shade on natural teeth doesn't come from the surface, come from deep. And it's not possible to do a 0.2 monolithic veneer or a ceramic fragment so thin because it doesn't exist a milling machine able to do so in terms of fit, in terms of strength. There is not a press technique that allows us to achieve this kind of aesthetic and precision in the same time. So why layered and not use a monolithic? This is another example. So we have a case of a strong erosion. This is not a prep tooth. This is what it is. And we have the problem, then we have the thin exposed, a discoloration, then we need to block out in a 0.6, 0.8 thickness. So if I use a monolithic, I have to use a pretty opaque ingots in order to block out the discoloration. But if you focus on the external side of the natural tooth, I need actually a transparent ceramic to match the rest of the tooth. So monolithic solution, if it's opaque, is not good. If it's too transparent, is not good because I can't block out the discoloration. So in my opinion, to achieve the best aesthetic is still layered ceramic, where we can focus on the discoloration using very opaque ceramic just above the dentine exposed. As you can see, we use a much more transparent ceramic on the side in order to take the shade from the natural tooth.